A lot of new investors are intimidated by the idea of international real estate investing. They think that it's more difficult. They don't have a lot of the team. Why do you think people are so scared to go international?
I think the reason people hesitate to invest internationally is they feel like they're barely figured out what's in their market, and it's going to be different basis of laws, different languages, different. And those things are true. Just like when you decide to invest in apartments from single family, some of it's the same, but some of it's different. It's interesting international because there are so many things that are just the same as they are in your country, and it's only foreign if you don't understand it.
Right. Okay. So why is it that international is such a great opportunity?
International real estate is one way to diversify your holdings. There's never been a time in our history as a planet that all real estate markets are going up or down. There's always variance. And it's interesting, we'll get a group of people in the room and I'll ask for fun. Who thinks it's risky to invest outside of your own country? And there are hands that go up. My follow-up question is, who thinks it's risky to have all of your investment tied to one nation's currency and economy and different hands? So it's really about diversification and seeking new opportunity that isn't in your backyard.
Okay. So how would someone go about choosing an international market? Say they are interested in diversification.
So choosing a market comes down to a couple things. First, there's what we call lifestyle investing. That's investing in a place that you enjoy. So if there's a particular market that you like or would like to visit, or a type of real estate, maybe you like the snow, maybe you like the beach, whatever that is, that could be a start. The other way to look at it is just purely from the economic, the ROI. Where's the hot market? Where is there demand and not enough supply? Where could we get on the right side of the equation?
Awesome. So how would someone who's thinking about getting started in an international market go about it?
To get started, the easiest thing to do is to meet somebody or find someone who is doing what you want to be doing. And that's true in any kind of real estate. If I want to learn condominiums, I want to get us alongside someone who's doing that. If I want to, get a B-class apartment, I want to get near Ken McElroy, right? So I think the first thing is to find someone who's doing what you want to be doing. And then we call international investing on training wheels the ability to go into markets where English is spoken, it's easy to transact, it's not hours and hours away from your home, right? So there are some markets that are hard to get to and hard to get into. And then the final thing is the criteria of what we call basis of law. There's 3 basic systems of law with lots of variations in all the countries on earth. One of those bases of law is a lot more friendly when it comes to property rights for investors. So you just want to understand, do I really own the property? Can I take title in my own name? Is there an entity that I may want to form so that I can have the protections like we're used to in the United States or whatever market you're in? And then who do I know that's in the business? And I've got to find that relationship because it's always about putting your team together.
Awesome. Can new investors go international, or is it something that's kind of restricted for more experienced investors?
There's this thought that you will really have to have some investing under your belt before you even think about going internationally. We had a gal come on one of our field trips. We do field trips to different markets, some domestically, some internationally. And literally in one weekend, she made a very modest investment in just a small piece of property. And I said to her, you know what's interesting? You just went from being an apartment dweller, a tenant, to an international real estate investor in one small step.
That's very cool, and I'm sure that helps her brand as well. Okay, so you guys have obviously had some success in international markets. What are some of the top international markets that you guys are involved in, or what you're looking at?
So I'll tell you this, the markets we like today aren't necessarily the markets we started with. And this is true for a lot of folks. First market I went in outside of the United States was Mexico. It was close, I liked vacationing there. We discovered pretty quickly that Mexico is the opposite of a tax haven. It has more onerous tax than the US does. It's harder to deal with, especially if you don't know the language. I speak a tiny amount of Spanish, but not enough to really get in a high-level conversation with, say, an architect. And there's just a lot we didn't know. There's a legal structure that's different and all that. So we poked around a bit, visited a lot of countries. I invested in Australia, and it was great, except for the fact that it is so far away. I've only been there 3 times. Now, that's over a period of about 15 years. I love it there. I don't like long flights. So we've gravitated towards markets that are fairly close to home, a few hours away, a few time zones away, where there's beautiful opportunity, but it's also a place that we'd like to go spend time, and we do.
Awesome. So you mentioned about building relationships with people in those markets or with investors who are involved in those markets. For some of the investors who are watching this, how can they get involved with maybe some of the markets you guys are in?
Relationships are everything in real estate, and it's even more important internationally. If you don't live in the market, if you don't have a good friend or a relative that lives in the market, you got to be careful. You got to slowly build your relationships over time. Everyone gets excited and wants to invest, and they jump into a relationship, but that might be a little too soon. So we love when people can piggyback onto relationships. It's one of the things we make available. At the Real Estate Guys, we do these trips where we go and meet people who are in the marketplace. Now, the trips aren't designed to sell real estate. They're to educate people. And once you've been educated on the market for 3 or 4 days, and you've met some people that are working in the market, then you might make the decision to invest or not. That's totally up to you. But I would certainly love to have you on a Real Estate Guys field trip. You can check us out at realestateguysradio.com under events and see where we're going next.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.